I'm here to tell you that I'm going to do exactly what I said I'd do in the title of this video, and that's redrawing my girlfriend's art. Cue the dramatic drum roll. Thank you. Hopefully you'll like it. Now, don't get me wrong, I have done art for her before, but those pieces have always been based on our characters, like our D&D characters, not directly from her art. Plus, those ones took a long time, and we don't have a lot of time, do we? No. So, I'm just going to look at 3 pieces of art she sent me and do my best versions of them, basically. So let's dive right in and get started with picture number 1. I wanted to start off with this one, and I gotta say, I love this one. It's so creepy and eerie. I really love how sinister it is, and I wanted to try and keep that for this picture. It has this kind of dark fantasy witch or shaman kind of vibe, which I absolutely love. And if you know me, you know I absolutely love my fantasy settings. For all of our drawings, they're sketches, so they're only in black and white, but I wanted to include colour for my versions, and especially for this one. I felt a nice sickly green would work really well for the background to get that eerie feel throughout the picture. I also wanted to try and keep the image quite dark and foreboding, so black hair suited that better than, say, like blonde hair or something. I didn't want to change the sort of Cheshire cat grin on the character at all, so I kept this aspect that this looks super creepy. With my girlfriend's versions, the eyes of the characters are covered by hair, but I wanted to include them. I feel that the eyes of the characters can really help set the scene and tell you how you're meant to feel, so taking some inspiration from my good friend Ito Junji, I made the pupils of the eyes very, very small. This helps make the character look even more unsettling and terrifying, especially with them looking straight at us. Oh, and if I haven't mentioned yet already, all of these drawings I'm doing, I'm setting a sort of personal challenge to myself to be completed within just 1 hour. If you've seen my time-lapse videos before, you'll know this is usually how I make my art. I love how this one turned out. I do think I managed to keep the creepy aspect of the picture and the character. I think if I'd had more time, I would have added some extra detail in such as jewellery, maybe even changed the background to be a bit more dynamic. But overall, I'm pleased. I don't know, maybe I could work longer on them for future videos? What do you think? Let me know if that's something you would want to see. But yeah, that's it for the first one. Moving on to picture number 2. This one I wasn't so sure about, and it was actually requested by my girlfriend to do this one, but I wasn't quite sure what kind of vibe I wanted to bring with this picture. I knew what I wanted to do something different from the first one, but as you see I kept changing my mind all over the place. So jumping straight in, I made the background much more brighter and vibrant, and happier looking, as well as making the character even more brighter. I thought maybe I could make the dress out of some sort of colourful silk, but I just really wasn't quite sure what to do with the character. I was quite clueless what to do for the faces of the character. In my girlfriend's version, the 2 faces are smiling, and I didn't know if I wanted to take that in a more sinister fashion like the first one, or like a sinister Joker grin, or just have the character more pleasantly smiling. I did also make the head of the character way too small for the body, but hey, there's only so much you can do within 1 hour. Though, I wish I'd given the character a bit more fantastical look. I mean, she's got 2 heads. I should have done more with that. I found it a little bit challenging working with the 2 heads, especially within the time frame that I had, so I tried copying one face and changing it slightly, but also the positioning was quite tricky too, and I found it ended up being in the shadows of the first head. Perhaps a bit too much. Anyway, this kind of worked as it made the second head appear more sinister as if they are opposite of each other, which I don't think is the original intention in the image, but I think it works here. I also don't think I filled up enough the space for the image either. Like, there's a large section of negative space around the character, but I wanted to try and keep the original pose of the character as faithful as possible, but maybe I should have tried a different angle or something along those lines. I know it sounds like I'm being really negative here, and that's because I am. But overall, I feel this picture is lacking something for me. Maybe I could have changed the angle, added some little special effects to it. Maybe add some more fantasy elements like dragons or something, I don't know. Dragons always make everything better. And finally, moving on to picture 3. I really do like this picture she did, and I think we can all tell why. Yep, that's right. It's the dress. Get your mind out of the gutter, you. While the pose of the character looks quite simple, I thought there was promise here that I could work with. The lines of the chest piece made me think that I could use that to create something more fanciful, like as a shell bra that Ariel would have wear from The Little Mermaid. I imagine this character being really elegant and refined due to her pose and downward gaze. I was at first considering changing her pose slightly to have one of her arms raised outwards, creating some sort of purple magic or something, to add a little bit more of that fantasy flair that I absolutely love. but I wanted to try and keep this picture a bit more faithful. But to help sell that regal and elegant style, I thought a purple silk dress would work really well to sell that look. The creases of the dress in the original drawing even made me think of that as well. If you didn't know, purple is a colour really heavily associated with royalty and gives off that feeling of wealth, going all the way back to the ancient Romans where only the emperor was allowed to wear purple. Like, can you just imagine that it's actually against the law to wear purple? There's a whole colour theory lecture that I could go on about with all the different kinds of colour and their meaning, but I think that would be a bit much, so we'll just limit there. I also thought the purple would mix really well with the colours of the shell, but I didn't draw them until the very end. I also wanted to keep the long hair, but to be a bit different from the other drawings, I made the hair much curlier. I thought she was lacking something a bit fantastical and decided to add a glowing necklace. I didn't know if it's cheating if I add things to the image to spice it up. I'm sure you'll let me know if I am cheating here. I was also thinking about adding armbands, but I thought that might be a bit too much. Or maybe you'll tell me that wasn't enough. I don't know. I really did like how this piece turned out though. Let me know what you think. So yeah, I'm really happy with how all these turned out, especially considering I only worked an hour on each of these pieces. It was really fun working on my girlfriend's art, and I tried keeping as faithful to the original images as possible, but maybe I should be a bit more looser in the future, or maybe stricter. Let me know what you think. Should I be more or less faithful to the originals? And let me know which was your favourite one. This video was a little bit different from what I usually put out, but it also got me thinking about maybe taking some submissions that you people could give me. I don't want to say it's guaranteed, but I like the idea of it, and it could be a really fun idea. So, if you some drawings you've done, I might think about doing my own version of it. But as I said, it's not set in stone if I do that yet. We'll see. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up here. If you want to support the channel and my art, then please subscribe, give the video a like, ding the bell, you know the drill, I'm sure. Don't forget to check out the descriptions as I have all the links to my socials, such as Instagram and Twitter. And even better, you can check out my online store, where I sell my art prints. Alright, that's it. I'm done. I'm ending the video now.